Hello, Paul Case here. I'm going to give you a little update on what's going on yesterday. We got to bale that hay that they had mowed for me, and best we can figure is a little more than 20 acres there. Only half of it had gotten sludge, so that kind of makes it to where half of it was really good and half of it was nothing but junk. Had a lot of dead stuff in it from it had been grown up for 2 years and hadn't had anything took off from it. So I had a bunch of dry dead sage grass in it, and we got that all picked up yesterday. And the boys worked on hauling it in while I baled it. I'll show you some things in this video today that would make most people today quit. And yesterday I baled 52 bales, I think it was. And the boys got 30, some of them hauled in here. Anyway, there's 18 left on the field, wherever the math is. And I think I'll drive over by there and show you what it looks like. The ones that we left on the field had so much dead stuff in them that the windrows didn't even look very green. So I think that they will probably keep just fine over there. I may just roll them up along the edge of the field and get them hauled home. I don't think they'll be used for anything but bedding. We'll grind them up and use them for bedding in my barn or something. Anyway, we got all the ones that had much green in them hauled home. We're going to wrap them here after a while. Maybe we'll get some video of that. And I'll go show you a few things on my baler that I learned was a problem. So hang in there. We'll get things going here in a little bit. It's been raining all morning. And we're fixing to wrap some bales here in an hour or so and go look at the tractor. Already been out and counted my cows a long time before it rained this morning. So there's that piece of ground we worked on yesterday. You can see back there at the back, we cut it off because I didn't get enough seed to do the whole thing, I don't think. Looking at this on the aerial view map, it is quite a bit bigger than 20 acres. And we'll be over here again, so we'll bale that back there. It'll make some good dry hay when we come over here maybe in July. Cut hay grazer the first time. And right about there's the line, so you can see we've left these other bales on the field. I want to get up here to where it's not too far from that. I think there's one right on the outside. I'm going to go stick my arm on. I was wrong. There ain't one there. It makes no difference. I'm not going to take these home and wrap them. They had so much trash in them. We're just going to figure to use them for bedding if they keep good, and if they don't, who cares? It was a cleanup mission anyway, but that's what it looks like. We got all the best of it moved home, and the baler done really a good job of baling. I didn't have very many places where it plugged up on me. Everything in that baler has to run through press rolls, and you see these sprouts here on the edge. A lot of that out in it had stuff like that when I mowed it. So now I got to get over here with a tractor and move those off because that ground's so soft we won't be able to get in there with a pickup for a long time, probably in a week. Coming up, they have predicted us a whole bunch of rain. So anyway, I'll bring you back out when I get back to the shop. Trying to get my stuff ready to be wrapping some bales, so this is what we're going to use to load the wrapper. And down in there's the dipstick between the hash marks. That is good. Too bad this camera don't have a light on it. Almost. Well. Boom. Got it. That's good. I don't know why I always try to do these two-handed operations with one hand. Oh yeah, it's because I'm trying to video. And of course, got the bucket on it, so we're gonna swap that real quick. Another two-handed operation. Gotta have your seatbelt on when you're doing that. And now, it's good. That thing's ready to go. I know I've got a adjustment deal to make on my wrapper, and I wanted to show you some on the baler. Had to come down here to be able to get a flashlight. A little dark in the barn today. There was no water standing out here yesterday, and now, well, it'll be all right. I like to have my stuff inside when it's going to rain, so we actually use this tractor to rake with yesterday, and we're going to use this and to wrap with. We got the wrapper all hooked up on it already, and I've got to move those. The last thing we wrapped was some 5-foot bales, and so I've got to move those over into the other hole. But here on this baler that I used to bale all that stuff with yesterday, is our first run with it. We bought it over the winter time, and it is obvious that it had been used to bale with, and this baler has a kind of a little bit different to me, kind of a tension setter, and all the tension is in that cylinder. It's got one identical to it on the other side, and that tank. And it's got to have a bunch of pressure in that tank, and that gauge says it's still got pressure. So, and I had made a mark on there on the gauge when we brought it home. It had that much pressure in it, and I thought it was getting a little slack later in the day, but it must not have been. Looks like the bearings I can see on the outside over here are still doing good. This has a completely different way. The only thing I've ever used as far as a round baler before this is a Vermeer, and this baler is set up to where you have to run the hay in the pickup, and then it goes between that press roll and that belt on the bottom. The other Gale baler that we've got, that's a high moisture baler, doesn't have that belt. That's a big wide flat belt, that goes between two rollers. It actually, the other one has 3 rollers, but it has this same setup, and you can see those red bars in there that stick down between the belts. That's what keeps it, when it's forming a bale, from coming back up here and wrapping around this steel drum with the 2 little belts around it. And it works really good. I have hardly any trouble starting a bale. We had it plug up a few times with some sprouts. I told you there was sprouts in that field, and I actually think I brought the last one home with me. This thing went in there crossways and wouldn't feed down through between them. That's a plum sprout, and that field had a bunch of them in it. If you keep them mowed down and sprayed, you can get rid of them pretty easy. This baler has hydraulic tie. You can see the cylinder there. You can also see that it's leaking out the end of it. It's got all that hay dirt on it. But we found out pretty early in the day that thing has a shear pin. That's the place where the bolt goes in it. I can't get it to where you can see both pieces of it. It's the arm is to where the cylinder should be all the way in, and the cylinder is all the way out. But we've found out that there's some adjustments up under that shield right there that have to do with the knife working. And I've got to read up in the book some more on it. I didn't realize that the piece on this one was stuck when I went to the field with it. So that means what happened on every bale I made, I got out here and unhooked that wire and put that arm down there, and this baler will not start the twine in it unless you feed a little bit of hay in while the twine arm's down. And so I had to come up here and put the twine arm down every time. I had to fix that twine arm to where it was laying down in there, and then kick some hay in the pickup all while the balers are running. I wouldn't even have attempted it had this shield not been on there, but that's one of those shields that stops when baler's rotating if you get against it. But I had to make the twine go on the bale all the way over there, and then reach up and shut the baler off every bale, and cut the twine with my pocket knife and tie that twine arm back up there. And if I hadn't done that, that hay would still be sitting on the field over there, because, you know, most people these days wouldn't put up with something like that. And I'm sure this baler's got its issues, and there's things about it that we're going to learn that we don't like, but I just really anticipated getting this thing for baling high moisture hay, so I don't really know why that does that. This baler has a dealer sticker on it, and I would imagine it was from when it was new. I don't know. You can read it there. I don't know what the rest of that was. Hamels, maybe? Adair. This is probably late 70s, early 80s maybe. Baler. The guy I bought it from thought enough of it to put a brand new pair of tires on it. We bought it down at Grove, and I think it's going to work out to be a good one. The 605F balers are not set up to be able to bale high moisture hay, and this one done really good baling that stuff yesterday. I have no doubt that I could have baled the whole thing in about half the time I did if I hadn't had to get out every bale and tie it by hand and all that. So I'm going to do some work on that. And the other thing was my tractor. I've got some leaks that have showed up on it really, really prevalently. And I think I know what it's going to be. I think it's going to be the orbital motor for the power steering. See that? That was just puking fluid down that. And when you look over in there, it looks like it's coming from the orbital motor for the power steering. And you can get to a lot of that with the hood off. So a week full of rain, I may be able to get that overhauled and put back on there before the week's over. Anyway, I'll try to get some video of us wrapping here after a while, and we'll see how that goes. started wrapping a little here. Got 7 or 8 bales done. 30 some to do altogether. Automatically resets itself if you dump it when you get 18 wraps. Hook that up again. No, never mind. I have not ever had that happen before. It popped the wrap loose and then wrapped it back around my roll up here. Never had that happen. Usually it just tears the wrap right in two up in the other bale. That's just fine. That time it just didn't do it. And he set that one on there really crooked, which is going to make me have to go really slow. Because it'll act like it's going to flip it come off. Well, we got done. I think they was 36. Scott thought they was 38. And some of them got some coarse stuff in them. I poked a few holes in them. That one there rolled when we pulled the stuff, and he had to shove it back with another bale. But I think it'll work. I think it'll work. There was some good stuff in these bales, so. And that's all I got to say about that. I want to say thanks for watching my videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, why not? Go ahead and subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. And hit like if you like the content you're seeing. This has just been farm stuff on a Saturday. I think I'm gonna knock off a little early today. May take my sweetheart out for supper. So y'all have a good weekend. Be sure and attend a Bible-believing church tomorrow, and praise the Lord Jesus Christ. He has given us something that we could not ever deserve, and we could not get on our own. That is salvation through His blood. And in saying that, I will sign off, and we'll talk to you on the next video. Thanks for watching.